Hi, today we're going to show you a new subject called Principle of Accounts, and under this subject there's a topic called Allowance of Impairment Loss on Trade Receivable. It's such a mouthful, right? And many of us struggle to know where to place the numbers correctly. Do not fret, watch the video and learn.
Today, I'm going to show you how to deal with an O-level style question on the topic of allowance for impairment on trade receivables. Before that, let's refresh our memory on the context of this question, of this topic. Trade receivables refer to customers that owe a business money, but sometimes they may not have enough money to pay us back. When that happens, you can have two types of scenarios. The first type is the clearest scenario, where it is very clear that they cannot pay us back. One of the typical examples you will see in the O-level question is they will mention that the customer has gone bankrupt. So it is very certain that you cannot collect back money from them. Another scenario that we often have is accountants don't like to hear the bad news of customers not being able to pay us back. So what they like to do is to be proactive and estimate the foreseeable debts in advance. Okay? And how can they actually estimate the foreseeable debts? When there is a good reason to believe that the debts cannot pay us back. Okay, so what are some reasons to believe that the debts cannot pay us back? When we call them and they refuse to answer our calls. When we go to their office premises and chase them for money, they shut the door on us. Those are some good reasons to believe they can't pay us back. So do we wait until they actually go bad? Or do we do the right thing and be proactive? Well, accountants actually prefer to be proactive. That's when they create the allowance for impairment loss on trade receivables. Okay, so let's now go into the double entry. When we have a confirmed scenario where it is very certain that your customer cannot pay you back, we debit allowance and we credit trade receivables. When it is a case of an estimate, we actually debit impairment loss on trade receivables and credit allowance for impairment loss on trade receivables. Okay, so now that you have refreshed your memory on the double entry, let's proceed to dissect the question. Shidek Caterer's financial year ends on 31st December. It had a beginning balance of 5,000 in its allowance for impairment of trade receivables account on 1st January 2013. Okay, so remember this word allowance means estimate. So this is the account that the accountant estimates of the foreseeable losses. Let's read the question further. The question has broken down for you the 2 year ends in a nice table. Okay, so let's read the information pertaining to 2013. We have Mr. Wong, who was actually declared bankrupt. Remember, declaring bankrupt is a case of certainty. You know for sure you cannot collect back the money from them. So your double entry is to debit allowance and to credit trade receivables. Alright, next we have Miss Jenny. She was contacted many times, but she refused to return her call. Now that is a good reason to believe that she cannot pay us back. Mr. Chan, his debt has been overdue for 6 months. No sign of paying us back. Another good reason to assume that he may not pay us back. So 4,000 is certain, but the remaining balance is not certain. So this remaining balance amounts to 8,500. Okay, 4,000 is certain. This remaining 8,500 is under the category of us estimating that they may not pay us back. 2014, we have Tong & Co. The check was received, but it was dishonored. Now, if a customer pays you a check and it ends up being bounced, you know that they actually don't have money to pay you. So that is another good reason to suspect that they cannot pay you back. Wilson, there was reliable news that he may be facing financial problem. Another good reason to believe that he cannot pay us back. So for the year 2014, let's add up. You have 4,500 in total of your trade receivables, again, that you are estimating may not be able to pay you back. Okay, so we've dissected the question. Now let's read part A. It says, prepare the allowance account for the years ended 13 and 14. This is a 6-mark question, and I'm going to teach you how to prepare the answer to get your 6 marks.
Hey, thank you for staying through the entire video. I hope the video has bring you much understanding to how to do this topic well. So if you like the video, remember to click like and don't forget to subscribe.